don't let them outlaw more stuff.
Good point.
Thank you. You know, you probably hear people constantly talking about this horrible thing called capitalism.
I have.
Yeah, you've heard that?
Yes.
You're like, what? How does capitalism affect me? I will tell you, it runs your entire fucking life. You've probably heard of socialism or communism. Communism. And they say they try to control your entire life. Your whole day is taken away from you. What control do you have over your day now?
Most people have to be chained to a desk for 40 hours a week and they're not allowed to leave.
When you wake up in the morning and you feel like shit and you have to wipe the sleep from your eyes and like look around and be like, why does this have to happen this early in the morning? That's a capitalism.
And it controls everything, like your healthcare, your education. It all comes down to making money, but some things just don't make money. Honestly, ask yourself, how afraid are you of getting an injury and how that could possibly fuck up your life?
Yeah. You're being stopped from skateboarding, breakdancing, doing anything fun, because if you get injured, you're fucked forever. You can't go to work.
And so then you have all these people that say, well, we can make a kinder capitalism, a more conscious capitalism. It isn't gonna fucking happen. We need anarchy, we need socialism, we need communism, we need anything but more capitalism.
But wait, Brett. When you go to the grocery store, you have almost unlimited choice. You can buy 100 different types of cereals.
All made from the same stuff with different graphics on the outside.
All corn. It's basically just a bunch of boxes of corn.
That's capitalism.
It actually treats about 1% of the population like humans, and the rest of us like tools for those superhumans. You don't have any money, your bank account's low? I know where the money is. Jeff Bezos has it, the Waltons have it.
And they took it from us, right?
They took it from us.
We're just getting our money back.
Yeah, your work made that money. You deserve that money. That's your money. The 1% has never decided to do the right thing. That's why we have to take power and just spread it out among the 100% of people that exist. How many times have you gone into work and then looked at your boss and said, what are they doing? You ever think about the levels at a job, Brett? Of course, the people on the very bottom. What do they do?
Usually clean.
Yeah, and then there is the people just above them. They're the ones that do the second hardest job at the place, right?
Deal with customers?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's another level above that, and that's the manager that's in the place. Now let's think about what comes after that, right? You might have a guy named like Glenn that comes to your office every 6 months, and you have to lay out the red carpet for Glenn. Think about what the person above Glenn does. Jerry is the person above Glenn, right?
Okay.
His job is basically going to lunch, right?
Yeah, powerful meetings, shaking hands real hard.
We're gonna go up to the CEO now. The people that sit around a table and who knows what they're doing? Nobody knows what they talk about.
Playing cards.
What connection does that person have to what you do and what the customer gets? It just seems like you could really chop like 5 or 6 levels off of any job and the company would still run perfectly.
Think about your job. Now imagine your manager isn't there. How much smoother would your day run?
I mean, how many of you work a job where you don't even know who the fucking CEO is of the company? That means they're absolutely useless. They're parasites.
They're on the top, getting most of the money, sending their kids to private school, driving the fanciest cars, and they can't make a sandwich. Every new level of hierarchy is more money coming out of your paycheck. Unions are fucking great because it's not HR.
You need solidarity with the other workers. We need to use that and exercise that. You and your other workers are the most important people at that company. I mean, hell, the way I think about it, maybe you don't get a union at all and you just take the whole company away from the bosses, and that's called a co-op.
For the almighty dollar, everyone's a slave. What's the point of doing shit if you ain't getting paid?
Polite about it.
It's just not the polite way to have sex.
That's just really one way to have sex that's polite, and it's to say, ma'am, or sir, or non-binary person, would you like to enjoy some making love with me? And then if they answer yes, then you mount that person and you move back and forth politely, and then you kind of finish it up and you say, that was great, and then you never mention it again. That's the right way to have sex, okay?
And folks, and that's why we don't do any sort of sex advice or sex stuff on this show, because there's none to be given.
I am wise!
I want you to write the polite sex book, like the proper polite method.
I just said it.
Before we commence expelling this ghost from this location, before we save Jake from the lock, I will light the ceremonial herb that will give us the sight, that will give us the power we need to set Jake free. My Twitter's not working out here. Let's see if you can get a ghost. Go ahead and try. See.
I summon thee, ghost, into ghostly ghostness. Come the fuck out if you're a real ghost. Now. Demand it. This is how we fucking hunt ghosts. And as we've pointed out, and as we've said, there are no ghosts.
So this is where the ghost lives, from what we know. And he's not home. Let me see, let me try this. Jake, you may overtake my body. I accept you into my heart and soul. Please, if you are here, take control of me. Use me as a vessel.
Gross.
Nothing.
Yeah, no ghosts. So I guess the lesson of Beaver Creek is there's no such thing as ghosts, there's no God, and the Bible is a lie. Off to Helltown to find out what the government's up to in the middle of fucking nowhere, Ohio. Hell yeah, bumping out here. Can I get some of this safety herb in my lung, please? And thank you, are welcome here. Jake, you can't have any because they drug test.
Yeah, if you go to work, man, you're gonna get drug tested.
Jake, you son of a bitch! You get out here! Hey, Jake! Ain't coming. He ain't coming because he's afraid of me, Brian Quinby from Street Fight Radio. Brett, would you like a shot at Jake?
Yeah.
Oh, I just fell in a hole. That was Jake. That was all Jake.
I think we found the ghost. Jake won't let you see your mention. He's like, don't look at your phone while you're at work, motherfucker.
I mean, I tell you what, even the jobs that paid me nothing, like when I was first learning them, it was like, all right, I can do this. You just need somebody to get the plates and make them go from here to here. I can be the master of that. I was really into that, and I can do that. But after a while, it's like, you guys treat me like shit, and I get the plates from here to here every fucking time, and you talk down to me and shit. What's going on?
Jesus,
you're counting my lunches. Like, you're looking at what I'm eating. You're like figuring out when I'm going out to smoke. Like, all of a sudden, you're in my shit. But all you said you wanted from me was the plates to go from here to here, and I'm getting the plates from here to here.
God, that was the most accurate representation of how I feel when I get a job. At first, I'm helpless. I'm a little baby. I'm sucking off the tea to the manager to tell me what I need to do. You know, I don't want to, my wings aren't fully formed yet. And then once I learn what I'm doing, I'm like, you know, y'all could treat me a lot better for this. I deserve a lot more for this.
Wow, this is some bullshit right here. Now that you kicked me out of the nest and I'm flying through the sky and trying to flap my wings here, I don't think you're giving me enough.
I don't like this.
You didn't set me up right.
Can you imagine being that sensitive? Like you.
Well, that's
like
what
that
they're
is the
PC as hell.
ultimate.
Hey, you know what? This is the freest goddamn country, and it's so free that if you don't stand up, you aren't a free person. And goddamn it, boy, if you don't stand up right now, you ain't free. Because you have the freedom to do whatever you want. But I'm telling you, I have the freedom to make you feel bad for doing the freedom. Just get up and say you love it. Just get up right now, Copernic. God damn it. It's so free that
Hey Street Fighters, welcome to the show. It's Basement Edition. Brian and I in my office down here with the wood paneling, with the nice busy carpet that hides the stains. We're coming through with the new Street Fight Radio for 2020. Our basement show's going down on live stream, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Twitch, all those places. Jump in the chat, talk to us, let us know what's going on in your life. There's so many things happening in the world. We create a place for activists, rabble-rousers, dissenters, disruptors, all y'all to hang with the gang and have a place to kick back and relax, smoke a bowl, drink some beer, or stay clear if you're sober. We respect every lifestyle around here. So welcome guys, gals, and non-binary pals to Street Fight Radio, the #1 anarcho-comedy radio show on any station across the nation. You can find us in Columbus, Ohio on WCRS. We take your calls every single Sunday. And on Wednesday nights, Brian and I go watch wrestling down at Elevator Brewing in Columbus, Ohio on 4th Street, their tap room. Come watch wrestling with us. We do that. Then we come here to yell at each other's faces about what's going on in the world. We appreciate you being here. And I want y'all to show up this Saturday. Icy Jake, our audio engineer. You know him as the guy that went to jail for a Facebook post. He's doing a live show, his first this Saturday. The new album, Terrorist Threats, all the way through. So show up. Head over to store.streetfightradio.com to get tickets and use the code FREEJAKE to get half off admission. It's going to be a good ass night. I can't wait to do it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we're doing it also later this month, Street Fight Radio Live, me and Brian.
2/28, February 28th.
Right.
You get an hour of the boys. It's been a long time since we've done that.
Not a variety show. There's no guests. It's just Brian and I going off this February 28th.
Lots of new shit. Lots of new shit.
We're going to try to rewrite the Constitution for Columbus, Ohio.
That's it, baby. And then we're going to take that on the road to, going to be announcing soon, Florida in April and the Northeast with Hellfire, the Hellfire tour of radical, what was it called? Hellfire
Congregation of Radical Egalitarianism.
Hellfire is hitting the road again up in the Northeast in May. I think we're really close to announcing.
Yeah.
I mean, we need like a few other things, but we're really close to announcing dates and ticket sales. So look for that. And that's all the plugs.
But Patreon people, you have the link, but I'll be spreading it elsewhere and getting the Facebook together. March 18th. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Street Fight Radio Live is happening.
I think we might bring some people with us. We don't know 100% yet, but we might have some friends. And
Hopefully.
We might have another thing going on, too, in March. We don't know yet.
Lots of live stuff.
Lots of live performance. Me and Brett are getting back out there. We're getting on the road. We couldn't stay home for 4 months. It couldn't happen.
And you know what? Drew and Natalie came over for dinner to my house earlier this week. And we were at an event and Drew was like, man, these things are just like so rough because you just end up in a corner huddled around people that you know. But like when I go to the Street Fight live shows, I can talk to anybody that's there and like they're an interesting person that, you know, I'm not going to regret talking to. You know?
I like that too.
It's a good vibe. There's a lot of good people show up. Come hang out with us this Saturday night with Icy Jake and then later this month on the 28th.
Yeah. So I wanted to I wish this is one of those moments where you really want a soundboard and noises that are like, ding or dun 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 dun. I mean, we're fresh. We're about halfway through the Iowa caucus right now. It's Wednesday night. It's still counting. They're still counting it. You know?
There's lots of hanging chads.
It's incredible, Brett. Now, election stuff, very boring. Usually it all goes the way it's going to go. They relentlessly poll. So like you generally know where things are going to go when the day comes. I mean, there are some surprises. Pete Buttigieg is an enormous surprise right now. He is like he's a run-in, right? Like wrestling, you know?
Yes.
This is like a mid-card guy just ran out and beat up the champion in a way. You know what I mean? It's wild. Okay, they just introduced this guy into the mix, and now we're having to deal with that guy. But, like, Whew, buddy. It's a good week for like watching the news because it is something. People are freaking out. And they fucking fucked it. They fucked it up, which I like. I like fucking up. I can't help it. You know?
Yeah, it's tough because it's really naked. It's you have to just keep moving forward with all the people that, want something different. But the fact that they've been able to just openly and Epstein prepared us for this, right? This is Epstein over and over again, right?
It is a little.
We're going to do this. We're going to have Shadow Incorporated fuck up Bernie Sanders' chances, right? This is like out in the open rat fuckery.
It's wild to me because it's like a company called Acronym, which does sound like a
cool.
Yeah.
Hip.
But you know what I thought about the acronym thing? It's not, because when I first saw it, it wasn't like mind-blowing to me, because I think what they needed it to be was A.C.R. That
it
looks
wasn't
like an
an acronym
evil
for
company.
something?
No, it was just called Acronym.
It's still funny. That's a good tongue-in-cheek thing. It would be like if you had like a tech company called Alphabet Soup.
Yeah. Well, something that I thought was really funny was the Iowa Democratic Party did a tweet where they were moving some caucus locations, which good practice, just the day of the thing, we're going to move it. Hey.
I mean, sometimes we do a show and I'm like, fuck it. I don't like how it's here. Let's make everybody go somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually a nightmare. If you're a live performer, that would be the worst thing that could happen to you.
One single place people know to go.
Yeah, you like to have it be at the place you said it was going to be at before, not day of posting a tweet. By the way,
yeah,
which is like not the most easy way to get the information.
Not
out
everybody's
to people.
seeing that.
Yeah, really, they really needed to use the Amber Alert phone number code.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying.
Yes,
they needed that. That I'll be fine with. Okay, so anyway, like they released a thing saying they're changing some locations, and then the email address that they want you to, if you have any questions, is disinfo@iowademocrats.com.
Yeah,
and it was like, what is happening? This is incredible, man. I don't know what's going on, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's massive disruption. People are still being polite, which is surprising. I mean, it shows you how generous folks can be. But I don't know how much longer they're going to keep it up. They are being blatant about it, and I don't think that they don't. We watch a lot of TV shows about how the government covers up corruption, and they are just like, well, we don't have to cover it up anymore because they're going to come up with their own conspiracies themselves.
Right. Well, it is like I like the idea that the government at this point is like, what is even the point in covering it up? Because there is a thing where like if you tell on yourself, because when I was a young kid, right? You're going to be bullying my sister or whatever, my little sister or something. And she would be like, give her a flat tire in the parking lot or something like that, and she'd be like,
flat tire on her shoe.
On her shoe. You step on the shoe in the parking lot when you're walking into the store with your mom and dad. And she'd be like, I'm telling. And I'd be like, oh yeah, you think you can tell? And then I would just run up and be like, I gave Courtney a flat tire in the fucking parking lot. I'd tell myself first.
Okay.
And then it would be like all of the tension was diffused from the whole thing and it goes away. I think the government's into they're just like, I mean, what are you going to do? We count the votes.
I mean, I think that in a way, what we've all come to understand is that there has to be somebody that's willing to go out there and say, hey, this was all a big mix-up and a misunderstanding, and I'm actually very embarrassed right now, right? Someone has to, that's all it takes. But you just need to repeat the process. Like, they are now, we've had this happening for the history of our entire government. I mean, they've always done things in the worst possible way and trying to subvert any sort of popular uprising.
Yeah.
And so now it's they can just run with it. We've hit a point where they're going to fake it. They're going to have like a representative say something on the record and not give a shit what everybody else knows.
I think it's kind of funny though, that it's like always the same people too. Like that's something I think that like we are at a time now where we can say, you ever notice how like all this stuff gets fucked up and it's the same 12 people that do it every time?
Yeah.
Like, and no matter what they fuck up, they get to do a thing again. It's Robbie Mook, which by the way, you can't hire that guy.
No,
Just the name.
great name,
You know,
great
you know
name.
what they used to call people that listen to new metal? Mooks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I read a couple articles the other day where they're like old 2002 articles about Korn concerts where the guy's like, it's a bunch of fucking mooks at that show. And now they hired one, but he doesn't even probably like new metal. I don't think anybody in the Democratic Party likes
just
new metal.
You know, maybe at this point, this is like a time when enough people can get bucked off the system. I mean, I feel so beaten down by it. Like I don't expect. I can't say I was too surprised to find out that they're like going to fuck Bernie Sanders. I knew that was going to be it from jump.
But it seems like everybody knew that, you know?
Yeah. It's hard to see it so openly. We were talking about it before the show, though. It's kind of tough because when you're talking about politics with like just someone at CVS that you may see, it's kind of like being into ESPN, where you listen to ESPN 24 hours a day, and you can talk about the draft picks, and you can talk about the strategies, and the layperson has no idea what you're talking about. And I mean, what they really did was they robbed Bernie Sanders of the chance of just saying like I was the most popular in Iowa.
I won.
That's all it was. It's like a matter of like a bunch of people got together and the majority of them wanted me to be the candidate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they found a way to obfuscate that information. And I mean, it's effective in some degree, but the amount of people that are involved, and I'm one of them too. I'm with you. And like the people that listen to the show, you know, I'm not as outward of a supporter, and I'm more cynical or whatever. But I know the people that are out there and are working on this stuff. We all know this is happening. Like it's that in 1984 when it's like they're changing shit right in front of us. We all know it happened. You know, we've all lived through this, and there's at least now where we have the evidence and the way to communicate the information and get it out so that we all know that there is a very fucked up misuse of power happening right now.
Right.
Know?
And I do think this, and even
to like, just people do. The problem with government is that people think it's fair and people don't think it's this. That's why that's what bugs me about everyone that gets stars in their eyes about Democrats is that they always think of it as a fair game or a fair shake or an honest place, an honest playground where like you get the same rules and like you just have to win. And it's not that. It's corporate interest, it's money, it's power. It's stuff that like we're just not allowed to be a part of.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, if I'm going to put a positive spin on this, I'm going to say this. The Republicans did everything in their power to keep Donald Trump from being their nominee. Like, they worked their asses off to try to get a little Marco or fucking Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Or one of those guys. Like, that's what they wanted. And, like, the party went against them. And I think that the thing that the Democrats are fundamentally not understanding is that the way that I think you're successful in American politics now is to be the person that the party doesn't want, because we hate the parties.
Yeah.
A lot. Like everybody.
At this point, everybody's tired of it.
Yeah. We hate the Republicans and the Democrats. Everybody hates them, you know? And if there's something we can do to fuck them over, then that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is whatever. You talk to fucking anybody, and it's like, you talk to anybody normal, and that's what they think.
Yeah, that's at the bus stop.
Yeah. That's what they think, you know? And like, look, I said this from the beginning, and I hate saying it. I don't have any faith in that party at all. Like, I am on your side, and I want to help and whatever I can do to like facilitate things, I would be glad to do it. But like in my mind, I just have. It's odd,
They're
right?
fighting so hard against us.
Have we ever, me and you, personally, just sitting at the table, have we ever been on the winning team ever? That's the fucking thing about it. Is like I have never been up in the lead.
I don't want to lose just because I'm comfortable being a loser. It's not that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't want to sink into that. Not at all.
But how do you?
But
it's like my thing
this
is like, how do you handle being in the lead? You know what I mean? How do you handle winning when it does feel like you're winning despite the best efforts of the people that actually have to do the stuff? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's hard to convince me that it's a good idea to change the Democratic Party when they spend all of their time and money and effort to make us not welcome.
I know. They don't want us.
There's no way to get around what they're doing, and it's just it's a cause for. I feel a bigger action. I feel like this is a cause to get rid of the Democrats altogether.
It does.
Like Rashida Tlaib was leading the charge for me in saying like boo to these. There needs to be a line in the sand. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez saying that me and Joe Biden wouldn't be in the same party if this was a different country.
Also,
this is the conversations that we're having. It's a bifurcation point. There's an extreme amount of pressure, and there has to be a break. Like, we have to break free or break them off or just cast them aside.
let them have their own fucking thing. Let them have their own little fucking thing. But they do their thing at.
But we're trying to do that inside of their power structures where they have all the money and all of the control, and I don't know what there is to gain from it.
I don't know. I mean, guess like somebody has mentioned,
like we need to acknowledge that we're fighting back and that there's a movement of people that care for each other and want to take care of people. But the Democrats are not going to allow that.
They don't want it.
Even if they are not interested in going along with any of this. I haven't heard Mayor Pete talk before.
You into him?
I didn't know he was doing like an Obama cadence. Like he's doing just like the straight up after school special, like measured approach to speaking.
Let me say,
like that dude has studied talking.
I haven't listened to him. I'm going to say that right
Really?
now. I'm going to be honest. No, I like the only real news I've watched. I listened to District Sentinel and Chapo to get my news this week. And then I watched cable news on Monday night. But when I sort of figured out like this is a rat fuck, I was just like, I'm going to watch Diggstown instead.
Smart.
And I watched Diggstown. And I haven't like seen a Pete speech. I'm going to say this and people are going to be mad at me. I admire claiming victory before any of the votes are counted. Like that is cool.
I mean, and what's the way to do it?
It's badass. You should do it. I don't know why more people don't just fucking, you just do it.
No, I mean, as myself, I don't believe in the rules of the game.
Neither do I.
I didn't get here by believing in the rules of the game.
Yeah.
I'm against believing in the rules of the game because those aren't real. Because there's someone that has things outside of them, connections outside of them.
How cool would it be for me and you to run for mayor, joint mayor? That's what we want to do. We want to run for mayor of Columbus, but we want to both be the mayor. And I don't know if they let you do that. I don't. Here's the thing. I don't want him to be lieutenant mayor, and he doesn't want me to be lieutenant mayor. We both want to just be the mayor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if I ran for mayor at about 7 p.m. the night of the election, I would just give a victory speech.
Yeah, I would go for it.
Yeah, just... Okay.
Run with it, see if people went along with it.
Yeah, because, I mean, they did. Right? Well, like, the news did.
He got it, though. They fudged him. Like, his numbers looked enough.
But they're not. He didn't.
They look enough.
I know. Well, state delegates, and nobody knows what that means. Nobody in the world knows.
It's all confusion.
Yes, exactly. But he did not, and... I don't know how politics works to me, but like the guy that gets the most votes, I think generally is supposed to be the one that won the contest.
I saw politics working this week on a video online where a guy flipped a coin in the air and he said, "Oh, I got heads. Oh, I was gonna call heads. I'm for Buttigieg." Like it was just like, okay, that's how that Is that a coin toss these days?
The other politics we saw, we watched it before the show, was the woman who caucused for Pete and found out he was gay.
He wanted her to take her vote
And
back.
yeah, can I have my vote back? And the lady's like, you already signed it.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was so funny because like the caucus system. Now I watched some caucus. Okay, I watched it, and it looks fun. Like that is the kind of voting I want to do.
Do you throw stuff?
No, you don't yell or scream. You could make fun of people though if you want it, because
You can crack on people.
I think you could crack on people because like basically what you do is you go in a room, and then they're like, go stand where you're at, right? So then
You
there's
pick
like
a corner.
yeah, there's groups of people throughout the room chatting, right?
Yeah.
And then if they don't have 15% of the room, they're out, and then they gotta go somewhere else.
That sounds like a good game.
I know.
I like this.
There should be a
This
caucus
should be
board
voting,
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
This should be
This
voting.
is voting. This is how you do it. This is developing consensus.
You go to a gymnasium, you pick one of 4 corners, the weakest corner is dissolved, and then they have to do another corner.
Yeah,
Then
you
the
can also
weakest
just
corner
leave,
from there
though.
is dissolved.
You can also just leave though. Right?
Shit.
Like if you're under 15%,
What
like
board
the
game
Joe
is
Biden.
this? What is this on Kickstarter? Is this a board game on
It's
Kickstarter?
called Iowa Caucus.
That would be a good game.
My God, I love it. I was
didn't-
watching it and I was just like, because these fucking.
I saw 3 Biden people in a room, and they're like, "Why don't you come join us?" They're like, "No, we're not going to." They're
Yeah.
like, come on, come join us. They're like, "No, we're not going to," and just like back and forth.
It's hilarious because the Biden people were all, obviously very old. And, or the young ones were kind of like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
I do want to walk up to like a fucking 20-year-old Biden supporter and be like, what are you doing? Like, let's talk.
They're
Let's
trying to
have
get a job.
convo. Maybe, but they're just regular. So anyway, he would have these like, his groups were very small. He came in 5th.
Yeah.
So, like, his groups were very small, and they would go talk, like, the news would go talk to them, and they would be like, oh, it doesn't look like you guys are doing okay. And then the people would be like, nope. It was like when you lose a game and you have to be gracious about it. It
Yeah.
just looked like a blast. The caucus looked like a blast. Because, like, just think about this, dude. You're standing in a room. It's time to dissolve some people, right? It's
Yeah. This is like-
it's time to dissolve the Clob Mob
You've been
and the
playing.
Yang Gang.
This is like you've been playing Survivor.
I know.
And for your company work pool for 10 years to set you up for this kind of throwing people under the bus.
I know. And then, so Yang Gang, they got to go. You got to go somewhere else or get out of here.
Yeah.
That's it. And then you get to walk up to them and be like, you could come over here and there would be a bunch of us and then you'd be on the winning team, which I
Yeah.
think
This
is probably the best way to get people to come to your side. And I think, honestly, Bernie Sanders getting the most votes, and if he wins New Hampshire next week, like, so many people, once he wins 2 or 3 things, are going to be like, yeah, I mean, obviously, I've
I
always
want to get
been
the
with
winning
him.
team.
We people naturally want to win, that is
Yeah.
like what people want. And I think, like, when they're dissolving the groups, they would go here, there, where are you going to go? But, like, basically the thing I notice is the groups that dissolved were all the centrist establishment, like, people. They're the ones that had to go find something else to do. You know?
there are people on roulette that are just like losing hardcore, and they're just going for a Hail Mary.
Yeah, they do a
They'll
double
just
zero.
change. They're changing every time. Yeah, they go for green. Yep, they'll go for a double zero. Like, it's gotta hit. It's like, you haven't had any luck all night.
Me,
You were standing
I'm that
over,
guy.
You were standing over there with 2 other people in the corner of the gym. Come on.
I just think also, like, what does it feel like when you're caucusing, right? And
mean-
you're one of the groups with 3 people in it, and you come in.
You gotta stand strong, man, in your beliefs.
You come into your caucus and you and 2 other people are standing there and you're wearing your Joe shirts and you're just like, it's going to be really uncomfortable to go to somebody else's.
I
thing
can't believe
with
I
this
did
shirt
this.
on."
Yeah, I mean, that should be voting. Voting is too cowardly at this point, because even I think Facebook has has let it be known that we all want to do intellectual battle in some sort of like open forum. And if we can repurpose our high school gymnasiums to be the voting system, I think this is way better than just a ballot system.
It's I would love it if the general was just you and all your neighbors
go to
in
room.
a gym screaming at each other until you come out.
They
with
put a
the
volleyball net up every hour. They like weigh who's on each side. If it's 51 to 49, you got to go with that.
Incredible.
It's popular vote.
Yeah, because it's like
Take a day off.
Voting is this thing where you never have to fucking face people.
No.
When you do it, so like you can fucking pull the fucking lever for child prisons.
Yeah.
And nobody has to know that you pulled the lever for child prisons. I want to look. If I believed in child prisons,
yeah,
I
you gotta
would
go to
look
a
you
gym
in the fucking face and say, I believe in child prisons. Because that's what you should have to do. That should be the thing.
That should be voting.
And just people yelling at each other. I would love it. I love people yelling at. This is
I
why
think
I like election
it should
years.
Be improved. Yeah, it should be added.
One of the things I really like about election years is that we're looking at probably 2 or 3 months of like Democrat infighting. We'll be fighting with liberals and stuff like that. But you know what, dude? By June, it's us versus them.
Yeah.
And that is going to make Facebook an explosive place to be, which is so enjoyable for me. It's just like guys that haven't thought about politics, that have been watching Family Guy for 3 years, are all of a sudden like, let me tell you a little bit about the politics.
About
and
hard
it's like,
work.
Yes. Oh yeah, they do want to tell you about hard work too. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know. I just hope that if as things continue, if this things gets completely fucked over, that we can push back hard enough.
Go nihilist.
Yeah,
that's how I feel. It's like, if this doesn't, I'm compromising. Okay, I don't want to back a candidate ever in my whole life. I said I was never gonna fucking do it. I'm backing a guy, and if it doesn't work out for me, I'm giving up. Because
I'm done. So
I've lost too many times in my life. It's been taken away from me by rich people, and I can't anymore. The last thing I want to do about the politics thing is, like, last night I was recording March's miniseries. It's called March Madness, and it's co-hosted by Adam from South Paws and Chris James. And I was doing it, but I had the State of the Union on the TV muted.
okay,
Right? Oh, wacky thing.
Is it good?
I want to say number one. There are 2 or 3 takeaways from this. One, AOC refused to go, which, again, incredible. Respect. You don't go.
Just
you know what I
fuck
mean?
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck that clown.
Yeah, not only should she not have gone, but I hope she watched something else on TV. I hope she watched Curb Your Enthusiasm or something instead.
Yeah.
I hope that the next day she went out and talked to a press pool and was like, "Nah, I ain't even see it.
What did he say?
DVR'd."
Really?
He said a lot of bad. Yeah, yeah. The press is telling her that would be fresh.
So catch me up.
What I saw, no noise. I heard nothing. I heard none of this. This is all visual. I saw Rush Limbaugh get the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Which was really...
That happened last night?
Yes. And it was...
At the State of the Union? He was there?
Yeah. Yeah. He was like, Rush Limbaugh, you're a hero. Or I don't know what he said. But he then turned... Rush Limbaugh standing there. He turns around, and then Ivanka puts the Presidential Medal of Freedom on him in the audience, and then he gets up, and then he's like pointing at Trump like, you, my boy, you know what I mean? And then that happened, and I didn't like that. I was like, this is a lot here, okay?
That's a hell of a show. That's the thing, is that he worked with the YouTube, with all the creators like us, small-time creators. It's so dynamic, it's quick. You can just pull somebody in the room and get him on camera. He fucking just went for that immediate pop.
Yeah, he did.
He went for what's happening right now.
Yeah.
His State of the Union was just fucking get Limbaugh in here. Bring Rush. Bring what's his El
Rushbo?
El Rushbo. Bring
I
El
hope
Rushbo.
Mr. Snerdley got to come though too.
Did you know what's odd? Before I saw the announcement of that cancer thing, I was at Fresh Time, which is bourgeoisie bullshit ass like farmers marketplace. Very expensive. They have $9 like allergen free desserts and shit. Ooh. But there was also a motherfucking Honda Accord there that had El Rushbo license plate.
You sent that to me, and then I found out
minutes
later that he has lung cancer.
I know.
And I was like, bless up. You know, that's cool.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, because I was like, maybe, you know what? That was synchronicity.
Yeah.
Because I was feeling all down. I was thinking that like the bad guys are going to win no matter what. I'm going to the grocery store. Here's a Rush Limbaugh fanatic. And when I let that car make me feel bad, it was like, no, he's out of here.
Yeah, he's going to be gone
He's
soon.
going to be fired on his ass. But he got a medal before he goes.
He did, right in front of the whole country.
This is also... come on. I would do the same thing. Like, if I was the dictator of the United States, I would be giving some problematic medals out to people. Like, the right wing would be like, he can't give a fucking... Felix says the fucking R word. He can't give him a fucking medal.
I'm wondering, like, is he the first DJ to get the Presidential Medal of Freedom?
DJ?
He's a DJ.
Yes, okay, sorry.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is he the first DJ to get the Presidential Medal of Freedom? And if he is not... honestly, if I'm going to say it, and I'm going to just say it out loud, Howard Stern should have got the first Presidential Medal of Freedom for a DJ. He's the guy. He's the top of the heap, not Rush Limbaugh. Okay. He's got more listeners than Rush Limbaugh, okay? But Trump doesn't like him anymore because he, talk shit about him all the time. So that was what I saw.
That's a good move. I think it's a good move.
I also, just a little bit of
Gumball's disrupting the podcast.
Yeah, just a little bit of the other thing is that like he was giving all these things and Bernie Sanders sat during the standing ovation and Elizabeth Warren was behind him standing up and giving a standing ovation. So it's like this picture of like it was just one of those pictures that's like, damn, well, there's a difference right there between the two.
That's something that I can say I don't, I agree with one over the other.
Yeah. But that is election coverage. I have other things I want to talk about. So the first thing is the Super Bowl was Sunday.
Yeah.
We didn't watch it because we were here. But I just want to I got to read this tweet. Okay. It is from a guy that our audience knows very well. And it's Jeff Bezos.
Okay.
And he tweeted a picture with Lizzo. And it said, I just took a DNA test. Turns out I'm 100% Lizzo's biggest fan.
Oh.
And I was just thinking about that. Like, I want to go to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, I'd love to go to the Super Bowl. It would be great to be like a guest of honor at the Super Bowl sort of thing in a luxury box with like celebrities and stuff.
But Bezos is the one who invites you.
I know. That's what I was thinking. That's how I was thinking about it. I was like, but look, I've said this on other shows. I've said this on the Shock Jock shows. I've said this on even the sports talk shows. It's like if the news called me and they were like, I want you to comment on this news story, I would say, where do I need to be? I want to get there right now. Like, okay. I'm ready to do it. It would be very hard for me to resist the chance to be on the news.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I think about that with the Super Bowl too. It's like there's these big prestigious things and like I work like a job that like one of the benefits is getting, I guess, good treatment at things, getting access. You know what I mean?
I would...
Like as a goal, and not saying that I get access at this point, but I'm saying like at some point, one of my benefits, if it goes far enough, is maybe access to these sorts of things.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out though, because like I remember going to a Christmas party for my wife's boss, and they had this really expensive watch out there and like all this stuff, and I just wanted to steal everything in their fucking house. Yeah. I feel like I had a little bit of access, but I mean, it's like it's hard to figure out what you can do while you're there.
That's why
I'm thinking the best thing to do would be to have like horrific accident.
Like poop your pants?
Yeah, or like cut yourself open and get blood all over the carpet on accident. accidentally prick your thumb on like a wine cork and start like spraying blood everywhere.
Or like just purposely sprain your ankle and get paid for it. You know what I mean?
Go into a lawsuit situation.
Yeah. I mean, I'll break a finger. We've talked about that in the past. You know, I'll fucking go in the kitchen and take the meat tenderizer and just bats my pointer finger up and be like, something fell. You know, I'm suing you for everything you got. But what would you do? That's a good question, right? It's like, so
what would be the best way to get them?
That is a good question.
Extract the most out of a situation. If you
yes.
If you're stupid, you get an Instagram photo out of it. If you're smart, you get a lawsuit.
Yes, a lawsuit or just making a mess. I think a mess is a really good. I never thought about shitting my pants, which I think, like in most cases, I have thought about if you get arrested, you should shit your pants. Like every time. It's just like, you know, they got to then ride in a car with me after I shit my pants. So fuck them. You know, but then you got to sit in the shit and it's kind of gross. But I don't know. I don't know where I land on shitting your pants.
Okay.
I
wasn't thinking that.
Throw up?
Yeah.
Like you could just be like, oh,
drink until you puke.
Something's and that is a good idea too, is to just get too drunk and then you won't have the control over yourself to keep you from doing embarrassing things.
Just lean on the faucet, like lean on the kitchen faucet, like it was like an armrest and just bend it off.
I mean, that is the kind of thing that I think about.
But be
like,
apologetic.
I mean, yeah, it'd be like, oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry, I broke your thing, and you got to get it. I mean, but they don't care about that stuff. You know, you break their you probably break their turlet.
Lizzo was inside of a press box at the fucking Super Bowl, right?
Yes. With Jeff Bezos. So
she couldn't have maybe just destroy his clothes in some sort of way?
I think ruin his time. I think it's the ruining a guy's time. Now, you're going to get kicked out if you start yelling KJB at him, of course.
Yeah, you should.
You know what I mean? You can't do that. But I think I'm smart enough to ruin a guy's time without getting kicked out. I think I have.
Yeah, I could be obnoxious.
Yeah.
You're right. I know what you mean.
I think I know the line.
One up everybody with a story that's really shitty or boring.
That has a bad ending.
Yeah,
and just like talking like positive.
One that you just go, I mean, like that's all you can do. Is just like, I mean, come on. You just say, come on. That's the big finale of every story is, I mean, come on.
You know, when I was growing up, my grandma used to say this. She's dead now, was murdered in her sleep.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Grandpa killed her.
Right.
It would be an excellent way to... And also, like, you could eat some bad food and make... Because there's a bathroom in those luxury boxes, because we have used the bathroom in a luxury box.
Yes.
Well, I didn't poop there, but I could. You know, I could probably work that out.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Well, but it'd smell bad. And also, a lot of cursing, I think.
Okay.
Expletives? Like the C word, though. You know what I mean? Just constantly with it. You know? Watching the football, just yelling the C word the whole time.
Okay.
I think that's a good move. Putting your arm around him.
Yeah.
Lots of arm around. Sweaty.
Try to get kicked out. Yeah.
We wouldn't be kicked out. You know, I mean, it's like we're all having fun at the Super Bowl.
You got to push the limit, though.
Yeah.
By fourth quarter, you should be just trying to get taken out of there.
I agree. You just fucking slap him in the face. Like you say, I got so excited from that touchdown and just smack his face as hard as you can.
No. Yeah.
It would be sweet. So, yeah. I just don't know. I feel like, do I have the willpower to turn down invitations to things like that?
Jeff Bezos, come on.
For him, yes. I do
for
agree.
Jeff
that
Bezos,
would be something.
I would just be terrified. It was like, how do I effectively do this?
But like
I don't know how. I would have to figure out how to effectively sabotage his time.
But I guess it's like not his. I mean, if it wasn't his party, right? Like if you're just at the Super Bowl.
Oh, you got to ruin someone's time though. We already went through it.
No, I agree, but I'm saying like, so let's say I'm invited to the Super Bowl, right? And I know that Jeff Bezos is on the list. Would I be able to? Because I probably don't want to go if he's there, because I don't like him. You know what I mean? I hate his guts.
No, it would be amazing.
You think you'd go?
I want to.
I mean, I want to go to the Super Bowl for real.
I feel like we're telling ourselves we're not going to get to do it now.
Yeah, I mean, we could still, though. Maybe one day. I mean, I don't think we're ever going to be in the lane, the type of famous that gets invited to the Super Bowl.
I don't either.
But, well, I mean, you know, there's always the chance that we could get ultra famous and be the Super Bowl halftime show.
That would be nice.
Like, no singing. It's just,
just
this year
us
we're doing a
coming
comedy show. And
hey, I'm taking my shoes off, everybody. And the whole stadium goes wild.
And then we bring fucking Steve Winwood out at the end to play Higher Love, just like as like a musical
This
act.
is the Bernie verse. This is the future we could have.
But yeah, I mean, I want to go to the Super Bowl really bad. And maybe one day I will go to the Super Bowl. I don't even like football. I don't watch it at all. I don't care who wins the Super Bowl. Didn't see a minute of the Super Bowl. But that is the type of prestige thing. What I'm trying to get at is that, like, I feel like a bad person sometimes because there are these things that I really want, you know, that are totally antithetical to the way that I'm supposed to be living my life. You know what I mean? I still have very, I guess, like, I still weirdly have, like, very mainstream ambitions. And I think it's
You don't want to kick Jeff Bezos in the nuts?
I do. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, I shouldn't even be at the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I shouldn't even care.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. I shouldn't even care to be there. But I still am like, if somebody invited me to the Super Bowl, I mean, I would definitely go, you know? And, like, things like that. I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there, man. I'm just saying, like, movie premiere. I'd love to go to a movie premiere. I would love somebody to just invite me.
You're worried
to see Mission Impossible. And, like, you're
right. That's not a regular part of our life. I understand that.
I know.
But I also, like, I despise those people.
Me too. I do too.
But I actually despise them to the point where I don't care about their recognition.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah. Okay. I do despise. I don't want to be recognized by Jeff Bezos as a good guy. I would feel like I wasn't doing my job at that point. I just want to do celebrity stuff, basically, is what I'm saying. That would be a dream of mine, and I don't know how to get rid of it in my brain.
Yeah,
you know, I want to go to the Grammys.
You can be on MTV
I don't
or something.
know why I want to go to the Grammys. What would I ever do at the Grammys? I haven't ever in my life watched the Grammys.
You want to be a gift from the Grammys. Like you make some facial that people share on Twitter.
I just think it's weird. I think I have these conventional things that I need to kill in my head, and I think about it. It's just something I think about sometimes, about like these like weird conventional ambitions that don't seem to match the person that I actually ended up being, but I have them still. And I get confused by it.
They're the DMC. Like, they're DNC. They don't want anything to do with people like us.
I know, it's cool. I mean, I'm fine with it. So let's go. Let's go to this story. Rachel Kahn on Twitter. She's a podcaster and comic from Atlanta. It's REACHRACHELKAHN. I don't know how to read that, so I spelled it out. She's a good follow. Posted an email from a job, and I don't know what this job is. Okay, like, I'm not totally sure. I don't know the company, but I want to read this.
Okay.
As you may know, many companies still use credit checks as part of their hiring process. This is to ensure that the employee can be trusted to make sound financial decisions, has the maturity to manage his or her own financial affairs, and to show signs of financial distress that might indicate risk of theft or fraud. While we do not conduct these checks at this time, the gist of the check is valid to us. We have noticed for some time the condition of your vehicle and wanted to discuss the matter with you. We will follow up this email with a personal meeting, but wanted to document the discussion beforehand. Since, of course, your annual salary is known to us and a newer and more appropriate looking vehicle should be within your financial reach, it is our concern that perhaps you are having a difficult time financially. Frankly, the concern is that if you cannot afford a newer vehicle, then either you may be susceptible to fraud, or that you are not responsible for the position you maintain. To be even more frank, it just looks bad. So,
yeah, this seems highly illegal.
Should
be illegal. I mean,
it doesn't seem illegal.
In my brain, if I was in charge, this should be illegal. You go to fucking jail immediately for saying something like that. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Please
I
let
just imagine like a gigantic whip just beating those people with it.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about this. I was like thinking about this when I was thinking about the teen jobs that I talked about earlier on Sunday. When I was thinking like there is something to how you look to get into a job. Like there is like you have to carry yourself a certain way. You have to dress a certain way. And generally that way is the way that people with money can do. You know what I mean? Like I will say that if you're going to a job interview and you pull up in a shitty car and they see the shitty car, I mean, they're probably not going to fucking give you the job. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like this is like indicative of how businesses look at who they're going to hire. It is like people think that you're sitting down for an interview to figure out your skills and stuff like that. And I think it really is just, let's get him in here. Let's see if he smells bad and what they look like and stuff like that. What kind of car they drive, you know?
Corporate culture.
Yeah, please let us know.
It's I mean, it's also it's the people that are just always in debt and just read all these magazines that tell them that you need to have credit card debt to build your credit score, and that like a car payment is good for this and that, and like they have all bought into this idea of, you know, buying a house and starter houses and all this bullshit. And, you know, you have to just be a part of the culture. That's what they want.
Yeah.
They don't want somebody out there that's like, this old Corolla that doesn't cost me, I don't have to make any payments on it. Like, it gets me to back and forth to work.
Yeah, it does.
I don't have a fucking lease. I didn't pay $3,000 to pay $300 a month for 36 months. You know, it's the shit is paid off. Like it's.
I know a lot of people who would just drive a car until it's dead. You know, like
it makes sense. Like
it does.
To constantly be showing off a newer car isn't effective use of your money at all.
Like, do you feel like
it's only dummies that want to be around other dummies? They're like, we waste our money on late model cars with 48-month lease.
Do you think that there is like, and I've never felt this, but I think it does look, I guess we're marketed this and stuff, that like you're always supposed to be in the process of getting a new car.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what it feels like to me. It's like, if you like, I'm very happy with my car. I drive my car. It's going to be paid off in a few months. I don't want a new car. I'm not looking for one. And I feel like I'm the weird one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's the same. I mean, my phone is paid off. And I have an iPhone 6. And they're on like 11 now. And my phone works great. But instead of paying $35 a month as like a partial payment towards the phone, I get to keep that money.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's better to, like, if I go to a meeting, to pull out a phone that I'm paying $35 a month for. I'd rather just have $35. That's like a better financial decision to make.
Yeah. Well, I've always felt like that there are a couple things, but it's like people move into a house a lot of times. I'm not talking about you. I don't know if this is your way of thinking, but I think that a lot of people move into a house knowing that this is not going to be their last house, right? Like, I'm buying a house, but I'm definitely not going to live here till I die. I'm going to like I'm going to get a different house at some point, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, we haven't talked about it. We should, I guess. But
Yeah,
I
go
did
for it.
just buy a house. And it's a very weird circumstance to be a part of. And that is the thing, is like they put it down. They're like, if you pay for the entire mortgage, you're going to pay 2 times the amount that this place costs. But we're all pushed as part of a culture to be like, this is my starter house, or like, I'll refinance, or I'm going to redo this, you know, like there's all of, like, we are taking on gigantic amounts of debt and putting ourselves, like, to have a brand new car, to have a brand new thing, putting ourselves in more debt, putting ourselves under more pressure. And that's supposed to be someone that's like a high achiever, right? This is somebody that's supposed to that's who you want to work for you.
Yeah.
Someone that's going to like put themselves under so much stress that they have to have a job.
Yeah.
Like they're going to work 70 hours a fucking week because they have a fucking lease on a luxury car.
I mean, I haven't looked at cars since I bought my car, right? Like I bought my car and I was like, well, I'm done with the car now. I don't have to think about another car. But I've always gotten the impression from a lot of people that like it feels like almost the day they buy their car, they start thinking about their next fucking car. Like you get another one, you pay this off and then you go get another one. That's how cars work.
I've had people say that like, oh no, don't pay your car off. You don't want there to be a lapse in payments. You want them to show that you've always been making payments.
No, I don't
so
want
go
to.
get a car like on your 47th month. Don't do it on your 49th. It's like all of the best credit advice I get on my emails is like, open another credit card. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Start paying interest on your own money, right?
Yeah.
It's also, I mean, it's like, here's the thing. It's like going into the house market, doing the house thing is fucked up. I feel like a trader for sure. But like, so in drugs, do you know about buying the plug?
No. I think I do, but I don't.
I'm going to explain it to listeners here. In like the government is just doing legalized gang shit. And that when you sell drugs, if you want to get a cheaper price on drugs, you can buy the plug. So if you go to a bigger drug dealer and you give them a gift of $5,000 or $10,000 that says, I've been making money off of these drugs, I'd like a cheaper price and I can make more money for you, then you buy the plug.
Yeah.
And that's all. That's the same thing. When you're paying rent, you're paying stepped on drug prices for your fucking living situation because you got to pay to somebody else that is paying the bank. Right?
Yeah.
You're paying a middleman to do all of that shit. When you're buying a house, you go to the bank yourself. You're trying to buy the plug. You say, I got $10,000. I'll just deal with you directly. I'll make you money myself on my property. This house shit is not an asset. Like I've been talking to so many people that are like congratulating me for it. And it costs so much more than renting ever would.
Yeah.
Right? Like I like having the space. I'm accepting into it. But this is not anything that's making me any sort of money.
No.
People are like, I made $80,000 in 10 years. And it's like, you paid like $200,000 in rent though.
Yeah.
Like you didn't get all of your money back.
No.
You paid, you also now have to get a Lowe's credit card to furnish the whole fucking thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing about it that is smart. It's really weird, the culture of people that are congratulating me to buy a house, because the only people that ever told me it's a good idea is the banks.
Yeah.
The banks that think it's a good idea. It's like the casino is like, come play our games.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a good investment, really.
It's a great investment. And the banks are doing the same thing. Like I'm getting ripped off. I'm not making a smart financial decision. I'm getting more house than I could if I rented it.
Yeah.
But there's nothing about this that is an asset. Like I owe a lot of money to a fucking bank.
Yeah.
Like this isn't making money for me in any sort of situation. And it's weird because there are a lot of people my age that think that they made a smart decision by signing up for, $250,000 in fucking debt. It's like, it's not any sort of smart financial decision you would ever make.
I mean, I look
and renting is a lot cheaper.
Right. I look at renting as like, there isn't like there isn't like an end to it. Like I'm always gonna have to pay it, but I also feel like if I bought a house, I'm always gonna be making a fucking payment too, and it's never gonna be mine.
Yeah,
because I'm never gonna make it to the end of it.
Right?
Or I can't. I just a 28-year lease or whatever a mortgage is.
Yeah.
It's like it's like. I might as well just fucking pay rent and then I can leave when I want to. I don't have this thing here that I gotta get rid of,
But then there's people out there like, oh, you know what? I sold my first house. We made all this money. I was like, how much did you make? And they're like, oh, we rolled it into this next house. I was like, so you never touched that money.
Yeah.
You never made that money.
Now you have a house.
And you know what? You bought your house for $200,000. Now it's worth $250,000. Guess how much inflation says it's worth? It's worth a lot less than what it is,
Yeah.
Like after you take inflation into account for all of this shit, it's not anything. It's not an admirable thing. I guess.
It is nice to hear because like a lot of people like me who rent have been shit talked for their whole adult life. I've been renting since I was 18. I'm not looking to buy. I'm never going to buy. I'm always going to rent. And like people look at me like a dipshit for doing it. Like, oh, it's dumb. You're wasting your time, and you know what? You're just throwing that money away. When in fact, like you don't look at staying in a hotel as throwing your money away. You know what I mean? You go to you pay them money and you get to sleep in the room.
You walk around, you're like, I don't have to give a fuck about this shit.
Yeah. You don't. People don't say you're throwing your money away. Like when you spend it on other stuff, like they're like a place to sleep or something like that. And I essentially, for a home, I just want a place that I can put all my stuff. I'm not looking for something like highly customizable or huge or anything like that. And I want the freedom where, you know, within reason, because I have a lease, you know, but like it only goes year to year. And I could decide right now that I could start looking for a new place and I could be out of there in July, you know, if I wanted to do that. And there is a comfort in that for me, you know, that like I wouldn't have in a house. Cause like, I feel like if I bought a house, I would feel like, well, this is my life. This is where I am. And I've chosen, this is my place. And it's like, to me, like, it feels weird to always live within 20 miles of where you grew up for your whole entire life. It's like something I've been thinking about a lot lately. Like, I've spent not like the last 2 or 3 years. I'm like more satisfied with what I've seen, but I've spent like, you know, almost my entire 41 years within 20 miles of where I grew up. You know what I mean? Like, and I've seen so much now, and it's hard to just sit there and be like, I'm going to be here forever. This is where I'm going to be, because like, for me, I don't want that. I don't like the winter at all. I hate it. And like, I feel lonely here. You know what I mean? And I don't feel like I can do things that I could do in a bigger city. There aren't things here, you know? And, I think that might be part of my hesitance to ever buy a house. But like even then, I was leasing cars for a lot of years. And I just sort of figured out recently that like I'll buy one and see what the experience is like.
Yeah.
And now I've got to tell you, dude, like not having to turn that car in and also not having to make a payment anymore in like 5 or 6, I think it's like 8 months or something like that, is really appealing to me now. So I don't know. Maybe I'm fucking wrong. But I do know if I got a house, I would never pay it off. Like, it's not something I'm just going to be like, I got a house.
And I don't think
it's done. You know?
No, I don't. And I don't think it's the right decision for me because I have a 6-year-old.
Oh, yeah. You're going to be here for fucking another 12 years at least, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, I will get some of my rent back, you know, and, the rent here is going to skyrocket in the next 10 years. And the price to get a house the size that I have is nothing compared to what my fucking mortgage is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It makes sense, but it's also not the best decision in the world. I've been very uncomfortable, and I know I've made a lot of people that have been like, congratulations, you did it. And I'm like, it's just moving, dog. Like, I'm just going to a different place.
It was funny.
It's not a big step up. I don't consider this. I don't know. For me, it was nothing to celebrate.
I guess, like, to me, an interesting thing about your experience is that, like, I got to watch it happen because we're together a lot and we were on the road so much last year that, like, basically it was just me and you and, you know, other shows or whoever was traveling. But it was a lot of just me and you together just hanging out and, like, having the conversations. It was really the first time I ever talked to somebody that was buying a house where I felt like they were honest with me and not trying to sell me on buying a house.
Yeah.
In a way, because, like, everybody that buys a house is like, You're crazy for renting. You got to buy
Yeah.
a house. It's fine. It's great. Yeah.
They're like, no, it's a really great decision. You only have to spend $5,000 to $10,000 to make your kitchen into what you like. It's like, oh, well, at this rental, I just accept my kitchen as it is, and I don't have to do that.
For the listeners, I'll say this: I don't remember which tour we were on because last year it's like all kind of jumbled together because we just toured a lot. And Brett, at one point, he took a phone call while we were driving. And he talked to Erica. I don't know what they were saying. I don't think he was even paying attention. And then he hung up and he's like, ugh. And then he looked over at me and was like, I had to set up a rule that we're only allowed to talk about the house for 15 minutes at a time because I'm going to go fucking crazy. And I was like, I have never heard somebody at their wit's end with this. And the reason for that is the same reason when you're at the bar, nobody ever says, I don't have money to be buying this drink. You know, they want to project success on you, and they want that success to look effortless, and they don't want you to see the seams of that success. Because I think you bought a cool house. I like your house.
Yeah.
I think you got a huge fucking yard. It's incredible, and like I'm really happy for you that you got a house. You know what I mean? But like I did see the process, and it really like it solidified my belief that I can't own anything. Like it seemed terrible to me to do the process, and nobody's ever said that to me. Nobody has ever said buying a house is terrible. They're always like, it's great. It's fucking great.
It's the best decision you'll ever make.
We got to drive around and just walk around people's houses until
our
we picked
second
one.
baby.
It's cool. So we have two more things to talk about here. And I want to talk about this for some reason. A dad-run parent-teacher association in Berkeley, California. It's run by the dads
Cool.
at Berkeley. You know, you can get some dad time with the kids in Berkeley. They don't let you do that in Ohio. They think that dads are all predators.
Right.
A dad-run parent-teacher association in Berkeley, California hosted a Parents' Night Out fundraiser for their kids' elementary school that served pizza, soft drinks, and the chance to watch the 2019 remake of the Disney classic The Lion King. Kids Night Out is cool, right?
Yeah.
Like my daughter did Kids Night Out every single month. They did it, and you would go and you would hang out at school and have fun and eat popcorn and shit on Friday night for 3 hours and they loved it.
My daughter pretty much every day says, hey, Dad, are we going to have any friends over? Are we going to go see a movie? Or are we going to go to a park? Are we going to do like fun or anything today?
That was me when I was a kid, though.
She's like, she's used to the school and hanging out. Like, she wants an activity to do.
Oh, yeah.
Go watch a movie in a park, anywhere. Project it on the side of somebody's fucking house. She'll go. She'll be there.
The Emerson Dads Club. We need a dads club.
Do we?
Let's set up a dads club, dude.
Okay.
Just me, you, the other dads, and we'll get the kids, and my kid will fucking sit and look at her phone. The other kids will run around.
Practice braiding hair.
There's a bunch of dads.
Folding fitted sheets.
I like the Emerson Dads Club. The Emerson Dads Club for Emerson Elementary School raised about $800 from the event and moved on to their list of PTA priorities.
$800 for what? The PTO?
The kids' night, they raise money for the Dads Club, which or for the kid, whatever the PTA priorities are. Then, on January 30th, the PTA and the school's principal received a letter from Disney's licensing company, Movie Licensing USA, that they had broken copyright law and needed to cough up $250. So, they raised... yeah. So what they did is they
chose too new of a movie.
Yeah. Well, no. Kids watch movies at school, dude.
Yeah.
What? How is
it was the live action Lion King?
Yeah.
They know Disney has satellites that are scanning the globe for any sort of projection that looks like the Lion King.
I'll say this. If they did this in Ohio, nobody would know.
Yeah,
no idea.
Did somebody tell?
It's California.
Oh, you're
Disney's
right.
all over California.
There's some sort of
you know?
somebody's in the industry that's trying to get a leg
Yeah.
up.
It's not clear how the firm found out about the viewing, but it prompted the letter that informed the school that showing a Disney movie for entertainment purposes requires a public performance
Ew.
license.
See, they do it all the time here. We have like they do like the dive-in pools.
Yeah.
Like the
gotta pay for that.
Bexley pool will show like all the newest fucking movies.
You gotta pay for that, dude.
No, you don't. You just have to have like a projector.
But they can come and get you for that. Like, they could come and say, you owe us money for playing the movie.
You know what?
You know what I'm saying? They want their cut.
Yeah, I mean, but okay. So here's the thing: they didn't like fine them. They were just like give us a little. They asked for a third, right?
$250 fucking
They asked for a
dude.
third.
Disney asked for $250.
They don't have much money.
Yeah, they need it. I mean, you fucking running a tight ship over here.
I mean, every single one of those kids was wearing some sort of Disney paraphernalia on their body.
I know. Everything's Disney. A dad brought the DVD of the 2019 star-studded remake from home, PTA President David Rose told K-Pix. We just basically threw it on while the kids were playing in the auditorium, he told the outlet. They weren't even fucking watching it. The dads had no idea that the club needed to pay a one-time licensing fee of $250 to show the film at its fundraiser that had an optional $15 cover for admission. So they were like, you charged admission. But by the way, optional charge of admission. So you could get in for free, you know.
Man.
You couldn't afford it.
Yeah. I mean, they're the mafia.
And they own all the movies. That's the fucking thing. I'm so sick and tired of the movies all being owned by a few people, and then they get to decide what we get to see. It's so frustrating.
For real though, paying $250 to make $900, I'll do that all day. I do that every day I wake up in my life. I would pay $250 to make $900.
I guess to me it's like it's almost cartoonishly evil.
Oh, I know. It's just disgusting.
You know?
I mean, I don't know what can we do.
Nothing.
I mean,
I just do it.
I mean,
and not
I would
pay
love
'em.
to divest from all of this shit,
Can't.
but people hate it. People think I'm obnoxious because I don't like pop culture anymore because I'm just turning my back on all of it.
You could go back to 2012 or something like that and listen to shows where me and you talk about like hating. I hate Disney, and like Disney World has been a sore spot in my family for a while.
True, you shut
Not
down
with
the
my
trip.
daughter. I
You
did
shut down the
trip.
pilgrimage.
I said we're not going to Disney World. It's not going to be a big fucking thing in my life.
Ugh,
You
I don't know
know,
if I'm gonna miss that or not. Charlotte doesn't know
she's
about
6.
it, maybe.
Yeah, but if she watches Disney stuff, she's gonna fucking find out.
I mean,
about
but
it.
she's seen it. She's watched Ryan go there and shit. She's never put it together to ask.
But she will. She's 6. You know what I mean? They get to an age where then they understand the world, especially when they start reading. Then they go on the internet and they're reading stuff, and then or some fucking kid goes to goddamn Disney World in their class, and then they come back and they're like, I went to Disney World. They had like a Marvel shit there and some Mario stuff or whatever.
Every parent that's gone to Disney has told me it's a pain in the ass.
No, it sounds horrible.
It's always like, it's
expensive.
the same people that are proud to be homeowners that are like, oh, we spent $700 to wait in lines all day. And it's like, you sound like you waste your money.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like you do make terrible decisions with your money that bring you no joy in your life.
Yeah, it's wild.
So you just pay to be the biggest rube.
Yeah, to go to the carnival. Disney's the carnival.
The worst carnival.
Yeah.
The most expensive.
That is just siphoning money out of your pocket. I mean, like Vegas was a lot like Disney World. It's just one of those things where they're just like every minute they might as well hook up a vacuum to your pockets and just suck everything out of them. And then, and it is just one of those things that's like, I guess like if you can't show a fucking movie at a PTA fundraiser without them coming for $250, that's a sick
I know
fucking
that should
world.
turn. I mean, we can't get them on our side. Why can't we get a mass movement going? Why can't we get people to just say fuck you to them?
I mean, why are our schools paying Disney to show movies? You know what I mean? Like, it's unbelievable.
Because we got tattoos of them all over our body.
We got Latin tattoos, Mr. Latin, sir.
Yeah, we got fucking Steamboat Willie tattoos.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I wish I could find out who snitched.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I mean, that looks pathetic on Disney's part.
I've seen that with plays a lot, too. When they do they got to pay for the plays at school.
Right.
Like, whatever the play is
Yeah.
that they put on, they got to pay
The
somebody to get
license.
the play. They're not allowed to just put Shrek on without
Shrek
paying
the
for
play?
Shrek. Yeah, my daughter's school did Shrek.
They're doing Shrek?
They did a couple, like 3 or 4 years ago. And UA did.
Shrek?
Yeah, there's a Shrek play.
Who's Donkey?
A kid in the school, Donkey. You know, another kid dresses as Shrek. They do Shrek, the play.
That's disgusting.
I mean, to me, it's
That's like
we should be saying
your kid is like has no artistic culture in her life.
I agree. I don't like Shrek.
I mean, Shakespeare's more interesting than fucking DreamWorks presents Shrek, the play.
Well, that's the fucking thing. I'm like thinking about it, and I'm like, this needs to go one of two ways. One, we take the movies away from Disney. And we're just
Yeah.
like, we're going to show these motherfucking things in our schools.
They
The
belong to
schools are
us.
public. It should be free to the schools. To charge a school to show your stupid fucking movie on a fucking DVD
The one that
is
they
sickness.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's the same way that the music is all buttoned up, even with like social media and sharing, how you can't have it playing in the background, or how like we can't on our live stream play popular music because because the lawyers will come after us.
Yeah.
How is it? It doesn't like they're making infinity dollars.
I know. They're printing money. The motherfuckers are printing money.
But $230
Currently.
man, $250.
$250. It's petty, dude. It's fucking petty.
I mean, if you owed me $250 for if you went and showed Street Fight Live, I'd want $250. If you made $900,
They wouldn't. I think like what I'm looking at here is not necessarily like. I'm looking at a fucking public school, like being charged by the
It's wild.
richest media company in the country, which is kind of basically the only movies in the movie theater are Disney movies.
Yeah, 70%
at this
of them,
point.
I think.
Yeah, you go in there, you're watching a goddamn Disney movie,
Yeah.
probably. If you go to the theater, if it's a blockbuster. Like even like the DC movies owned by Fox, which is now owned by Disney. So,
it's like old Starbucks, like suing Sam Bucks.
yes, perfect. It is. It's like Starbucks suing like Moonbucks. I would call it Moonbucks if I was.
Yeah.
Sam Bucks is nice though too because it's just like, you know, a guy named Sam just started his thing.
A lady named Sam was who it was.
lady,
that
yeah.
was a real one.
Oh, that was a real one.
Yeah, they
Sam
went
Bucks.
after Sam Bucks.
Why are I mean, but again, the thing about this isn't even necessarily like that I hate intellectual property
Yeah,
law.
there
I think
should
it's
be
all
none.
fucking bullshit. But I also think like it's just like evil for them to be charging schools money to show their movies.
It just makes
Evil.
it. I mean, it's the same thing. It's where we're at with the DNC. They can be completely unlikable at this point. Like if they wanted to be a good brand, they would just spread their movies. They would play them on fucking public transit, you know, so that kids could be entertained. Like they would put them anywhere they could for free. But instead, they're like, you know, we can pay somebody to file lawsuits. We can pay someone to chase down every PTA meeting that showed a Disney movie and get $250, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's very like
It's just bottom line.
It's so
Yeah.
dark. It's just dark. $250. Disney doesn't.
It's
need
disgusting. It's like
$250.
they own Halloween. Every Halloween is just kids dressed up as Disney characters. Like we're paying, you know, parents are paying $30-$40 for just some plastic apparatus that covers the front of some kid's body. From the behind, you can't tell who they are, but from front, they look like Harley Quinn. You know,
How much of Christmas is dedicated to Disney? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's
The
like
wrapping paper, the ornaments,
the
everything.
toys, the
toys.
shirts, the shorts for the kids. They're all wearing Marvel shit and whatever. You know, it's just depressing.
Yeah, it's gauche.
It's depressing.
It's bad.
Yeah. I hate it. Fuck Disney. So the last thing I wanted to get to on this show this week is something that's been stirring in the street fight world for quite a long time. And, or for, I'd say, a month or so. And it's interesting to me. It's not something we've talked about in public or anything. And I wanted to bring it up on this show so that we could get this out in the air, right? Me and Brett been hanging out since like 2011, 10 or 9 or something like that. I don't remember what year. It's 2008, actually. And he has always been just spot on with his musical taste, in my opinion, because he likes the cool stuff and he also likes new metal and stuff too. So he likes both. He likes like the incredibly hip stuff, and he likes Korn. And I just always found that to be like the coolest thing in the world. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, probably a month ago, he just started listening to Metallica all the time. Not a cool band, in my opinion. But now, you're like the Metallica guy, which I found very interesting.
Yeah. It's taken over. So, part of it is buying a house.
You have to start listening to Metallica when you buy a house.
Start of it is buying a house, okay? And then the other part of it, I'll explain, is I had to go to the doctor about my psoriasis flaring up and about my stomach issues. And I'm on a FODMAP diet now, which is very restrictive, like no gluten, no dairy, no like anything fun at all, no high fructose corn syrup. It's the shits. It's a miserable life. But I feel I have finally grown into like Metallica.
How?
Because I'm like, I feel I have the old man middle-aged misery. Like I've achieved it. Like you said, the house, I signed up for like a huge brick of debt. Like I'm now looking at this huge nut that I've got to crack, right?
Yes.
I have that. I can't eat cheese anymore, right?
That's a bummer.
I'm miserable.
Yeah.
But this is my life forever now. Like I have to keep living it. And Metallica is a band that when I was a kid, like when I was, probably 9 years old, my cousin John, he was really into Metallica, and we would go in the basement. He had wood paneling, exactly like you see in this studio in the basement, and it was just covered with Metallica posters. And he thought they were the best thing ever, and I didn't like him at all. And later, when I was probably 9 or 10, there was an older kid down the street that played Magic the Gathering. He got me turned on to all of that. He also played the first Korn album for me.
So he was like influential on your
yes.
life.
He also played the first Offspring with the LAPD song.
Okay.
He also was super into Metallica more than anything. And I hated it. I didn't like it.
No, it sucks.
I became 19 years old and was working successfully at a call center. And this was at Discover Card, at doing collections. This was at a time when literally, and this was like a bygone era, they would bring in like a 60-inch TV on the weekend, and you would just make calls, and the person that did the best would leave with a gigantic TV. Yeah. People would get brand new computers. People would get the whole furnishings. Every single weekend, they would have all kinds of giveaways and bonuses. There was a guy, he was probably 25 years old. He drove a Mustang, he wore Oakleys, and he wore like flame rayon shirts all the time. And he always was blasting Metallica. And I thought he was the corniest dude like in the world. We made fun of him so bad. He would pay for their tickets. He would go see them. He would complain that they sucked. And I never in my life thought that I understood Metallica.
No.
And I remember even the big deal when that movie came out, Some Kind of Monster. Everybody was mad because they cried in that movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is bullshit.
Really?
Yeah, because I think that's wrong. That turned me off at the time. Like everybody was like, "Oh, they're lame," but like they make music for men that want to cry. Like, the music is like, he made 20 years of music. He was of like wanting to cry. So it makes sense that he would just let it out and fucking cry.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what I feel. That's what I think has led me to this path, is I'm at the point where I'm just like, I have white man blues in a very standard old man way, where like time has passed me in a way where I'm understanding that like I'm not going to do certain things. Like, I'm on a track and like my life is like ahead of me, and it's very predictable. I'm planning what it's going to be. I'm in charge of this thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to get to do that thing where you jump off a cliff and you have a suit with like the squirrel, the like flying squirrel thing going on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'm going to do that. Like, I think I'm like, my body's kind of fucked up at this point, and like, I can't run very much anymore. I'm kind of sad about it, you know?
Yeah.
And like, Metallica came out with an acoustic album last year that just hits me like right in the chest in the best way. Like, it just makes me want to moan. I just feel, for some reason, like I finally ascended into like, I have a garage now. Like, so I know
you can go out there and play Metallica.
I can go out there.
Work on the
Erica
bikes.
hates it.
I know.
Erica hates it.
I know.
And I'm obsessed with the song Bleeding Me, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's the best song in the
not
world.
Bad.
It's so good. Because at the beginning, it's extremely pessimistic. He says, I'm digging my way. I'm digging my way. Which is like digging, usually like digging a hole or digging a ditch. But he says, I'm digging my way to something better. Which is like so pessimistic, but right on the same path of where I'm thinking, right? He's talking about sowing seeds. He's talking about like the trees he planted are like cutting him open. And so I'm playing the acoustic version of that. And Erica out loud is like, she looks at me and she's like, didn't you say they did like something like softer or more acoustic? And I was like, this is it. She was like, I don't like this. And I was like, this is literally the pinnacle of what I've loved. Like, this song right here is everything for me right now. The most important song of my life. So like, if you're not on board with this, it's just not for you. And she's like, all right, it's not for me. I'm like, it's all right. That's for the garage then.
I think I'm going to listen to it on the way. I'm going to listen to this album now. Because like my wife, Brett also told my wife, he was like, oh, you know, I'm listening to this acoustic Metallica album a lot. And she was like, yeah, okay.
I did to Katie, I was like, we were doing a street fight meeting and we were doing all this serious business, and I was like, I've been kicking back to that acoustic Metallica, and she was like, well, that's certainly something you can spend your time on. That's what she was not having it at all.
He's also like, I think a funny thing for the listeners is he is not listening to what's widely considered the good Metallica, which is Master of Puppets.
No thrashy shit.
None of that stuff. He is listening to Load era
right.
Metallica.
Load is the album for me.
Load, Reload.
Yeah.
Somebody wanted me to ask you this yesterday. My buddy Oat wanted me to ask you, do you like the one with the orchestra, S&M?
I haven't listened to that.
Okay.
I'll probably have to go there next. I could get maybe Erica on orchestra.
Nope.
I'm going to try to rope her back in.
I don't think it's so. Metallica is the most dude band that exists.
The groaning. Just like, I just feel like when I wake up in the morning, I'm just grunting like James Hetfield. Like, I just am moaning at the sun. Like, just that it's waking me up, you know? Like, it's just pissed about it.
I'm digging my way.
Yes. Yes.
I am like,
yes. I mean, I don't know why I'm so transfixed on it, but it is really working for me.
Until it sleeps.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a festival coming to town. So there are 2 rock festivals coming this year. Me and Brett talking about going to one and kind of fucking around and maybe even trying to like record a podcast or something there. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to decide between 2, and there's this one. This is going to be really difficult for you. And it's like, we're going to have to like What basically, you know that story about how like they put the baby on the floor and it crawls to the thing at once?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then that's what you do. We're going to put one poster on this side and one poster on this side, whichever one you walk to, I'm willing to go to, because here's the big problem. Metallica's headlining 2 nights of one of the festivals, and then the other night is fucking Slipknot, and also City Morgue is there, and Flatbush Zombies and stuff. Okay, that's the one with Metallica.
Metallica, City Morgue, and Flatbush Zombies, and Slipknot,
and Slipknot, and Deftones.
My heart be still.
But the other one, little interesting, it's got Limp Bizkit, which
Love
is
them.
a band you want to see.
Never seen them. I would want to see them live. Over Metallica even.
It's got Weezer and Blink 182 are our other acts.
I'm soft on those.
Yeah, they're not heavy
I'm
enough
embarrassed
for the new
about
Brett.
liking them in a way.
They're
No, they were important in my life.
No, but the
at
new
a younger
Brett,
time. But I'm grown.
When
yeah,
I had
I'm
young
not
man
into that
problems.
shit. Yeah, I had young man problems. I had bicycle problems. Now I've got like fuel, fire, desire problems.
now I like to sing about cars.
Yeah, now I like to sing about fucking engines.
I love it. I mean, I'm totally 100% in on Metallica Brett.
I'm going to say there's a good cover on that acoustic album, song about Judas, which I know you like songs about Judas.
Well, I like Judas by
There's
Chris
a Nazareth
Jericho.
cover, and he just is singing, "Please don't Judas me." It's like, just to use Judas as a verb.
You don't want to be
Just using
Judas.
Judas as a verb is so fucking good.
And the fucking last thing you want is to be
People will just Judas you out of nowhere. Just
Yeah.
Yaha, Judas.
I've been Judas. I'm gonna start using it as a word now.
It's
Don't
a verb.
Judas me on this, okay?
Yeah.
So so we're trying to still decide which of the festivals we want to go to. Also, I think and you can help us. Do it in the Facebook group. Send us a tweet. Incarceration.
You
is
can
the
get
one with
I
Limp
can get
Bizkit.
tattooed there.
You can get tattoos at that one,
Where'd I get
and it's at the
tattooed?
Shawshank Prison, so you can
That's
do
cool.
like a prison tour. And I think Puddle of Mud is there too.
I want to see she fucking hates me live.
Nothing more than that, because Brett is now also come. I mean, I loved it. We were at Korn, which by the way they played One by Metallica, and
It was awesome.
yeah, we just went nuts. But at Korn, you were talking about how like this is like the perfect example of how men. Like, this is toxic masculinity. This is like the display of toxic masculinity. This is you can explain it,
Oh God, yeah. So on Friday night we went to Korn. They're playing their new album, which is really good album actually. I think it's definitely worth a listen. It's way interesting. If you think you know Korn, The Nothing is a good one to dive into. Because it's I don't know, they do new stuff, but it also like hits all the old stuff. But we were there and we were down in the pit, which was expensive. It was a very expensive pit to get down there. But running into people and smashing into people and like moshing, extreme, like falling all over the ground. There was just like people were like, it became this huge fucking circle where you had these dudes just running back and forth and smashing into each other.
Yeah.
But like the whole time, it's such a weird interaction because as somebody like I'm in there in the middle, like trying to rile people up more and more, I'm doing an aerobics class if I'm in the mosh pit, basically.
Yeah.
Like I'm just trying to keep the energy up. I'm like, come on, everybody, keep running into each other. But in those spaces, like Korn is a place where there is a lot of dudes there in like mossy oak and like work boots and, fighty fucking dudes. But like as soon as somebody falls on the ground, like everyone scrambles to help. Like they want nothing more to help. And there's those people that never get in the mosh pit. There's guys that just stand on the side and are just babysitters. and they barely watch the show. They watch a little bit of Korn, and then they turn around and watch people, and they just like are ready to catch them. And like being in the middle of that, running into all those dudes, and I kind of stick out as a sore thumb. Like I always feel weird whenever I go to a concert in Columbus. Everybody's wearing fucking black and navy blue.
Yeah, me.
And I'm
I
always
actually
wearing
do
like
too.
a jewel color, or always like a green or burgundy or a yellow or something. But like those guys put their hands all over you. Like for real, like in a way that like they probably, even their best buddies, they do not. Like when a dude puts his arm on your back and then also touches your chest and kind of just fucking like grabs you like this, like he's tongs and shit.
Yeah.
With both hands. It's like, that's when somebody's just like, oh, I love you so much right now.
Well,
like, they're just like, you're feeling that energy back and forth. And there is no other place that you get to do that. It's weird how it's just a weird ritual where we're going to listen to Korn. The music, like he's talking about that one. He says, what does he say? The call me a pussy and tell me that you're.
Tell me that's the song that's a slur.
Yes.
Like that's the name of the song, so I'm not gonna like say it, but it's that song. I think I said it on the POD cast, but that's not Street Fighter. I never say it on here. But actually I called it Faget because that's the way they spell it, you know?
Yeah.
But like, yeah. No, that's clown, actually. I fucked that up anyway. You know, that's You Can Suck My Dick and Fucking Like It is the one where everybody goes nuts. And I noticed this year when they did that part, I did yell it. I'm like really feeling it. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like, I remember when I was a teenager when I had to yell that, I would have tears in my eyes and I'd be sweating and just fucking going crazy.
There was and there was people like, I mean, there was some of
that's
that.
what
they're still doing it, and it's weird because it's just like some of the dudes are people that, you know, it is like Joe Rogan podcast listeners. It's guys that don't look like DSA members or people that are part of the movement, but they have these like really intense feelings inside of them. They're like going through shit, and they maybe do identify with being a weaker man or being like a more emotional man than what is displayed on TV, but just are having a complete crisis about it.
I know, but they're thinking like they're like, especially you go see a band like Korn, like that band is an outpouring of emotion. Like their music is supposed to mirror like a certain kind of feeling. You know what I mean? And he is like in a lot of songs, you know, he's dealing with fame, but in a lot of other songs, he's dealing with the way his parents fucked him up and like talking about stuff like that, which is
sexuality.
Like, sexuality and just like the way people treat you and shit like that. And like,
but that's, and it's just because like, but there's just dudes that are like rubbing me up and down in a way that like I never would ever in my life would they ever consider touching me like that. That are just like want to be all over me.
They want to hug, man.
Yeah.
It's like a bunch of dudes just hugging and saying, my dad was fucking me too. Dude.
Yeah. I'm rowdy. I like to roughhouse. I really fucking love to roughhouse and be dangerous. And I'm glad that you do too.
It is. It's a wild fucking thing to
Remember
watch
the
now.
dude? So there was a guy in there. There was a dude at the beginning that kind of opened it up. He was just a humongous dude, but he was wearing those mechanics gloves.
He was wearing gloves.
He had mechanics gloves, and him and another guy, they were kind of like pushing each other the most to try to get like people to start, you know, acting out.
The dude in the mechanics gloves was there for business. Like
he was trying to throw down.
He must have been like in the shower the morning of the show and been like, you know, my boss doesn't fucking respect me, man, and like my wife left me, and like my kids don't talk to me anymore, and like it just, the whole world's coming down on me, and I, you know, tonight is the night that I fucking get to go in a room with other dudes that are also like having similar feelings.
Yeah, I get to be my character that wears mechanics gloves. I've got my gloves on.
He did get to be a character too,
He got to be like a dude from like a Super Nintendo game. He got to be a Final Fight character. Yeah, like I wear the mechanics gloves, man. Don't fuck with me, dog.
I think what I'm saying here is like let people know your feelings. It's not a
Yeah.
bad thing to do. I think most of our listeners are pretty hip to like being honest with
Yeah.
the people around them and like telling their feelings. But like always remember that the other guy in the room is very likely not in touch with his feelings and just wants to go run into people once a month to get those out. Like that's where
Yeah.
he goes. He doesn't fix anything in his, like it doesn't fix your life at all. You go to this place and it's like an outpouring of emotion for you that you never get to have any other time, or that you're afraid to have in front of people at any other time.
Yeah, it also means that, like, as Street Fight listeners, we might have to go start tackling, like, really tough guys and just hugging them on the ground and just holding them down and hugging them.
Yeah.
really, really hard.
Yeah. So that's the show this week. It was very fun. We maybe went a little long, but I wasn't gonna let Metallica go for another week. So I think we had a lot of fun there.
Yeah, I love Metallica. I
All
certainly
right.
do.
Come see us in Pittsburgh on March 18th. Tickets go on sale Friday. It's at Opus 1. And we'll get links up for you. But if you're in Pittsburgh, we want to like really do it big there.
Yeah.
And we want to do something fucking like we're doing our new shit. And like, I think it's really good what we're doing.
Yeah.
And please come. It's going to be very fun.
Yeah, we might have some hill folk with us, too.
Yeah. We're asking some hill folk that we know to come and maybe drive up there and do some stuff with us. So
Fingers crossed.
our fingers are crossed. We don't know if they're busy or not.
Come hang out this Saturday. Rap show in Columbus, Ohio. Icy Jake, you know him as our audio engineer that went to jail for a Facebook post. He's doing his full album, Terrorist Threats. You can find that shit on Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, Apple Music, all that stuff. Come hang out this Saturday. We got Young and 8 and Eddie Bars opening up. Those are two more Columbus head rockers. They do the good shit that you want to hear live in person, right? The Oracle.
I do.
Why not? Why not see it? Why not see it in person? Why not come hang out with the best crowd in Columbus here, the Street Fight Radio people? We're doing that this Saturday. You can get tickets at store.streetfightradio.com. Use the code FREEJAKE to get half off. And if you want more of what we do, head over to patreon.com/streetfightradio where you can get access to extra videos, zines, and bonus audio. Brian has the American podcast going up with Chris Wade.
It'll be up probably by the time this is up, I'm hoping. And we talked about his early career. And we talked about, I think like this show is like 4 separate sort of things, right? And just say it's 4 episodes. One episode is about his early career and like the rise of like an indie a rock star. You know what I mean? And the second one is about the cultural impact of Kid Rock, with me and Tom Sexton just talk about how like Devil Without a Cause is an album that speaks to people like me. Like it seems like it's like at that age when I heard that, that was the closest anybody got to my experience in life. You know what I mean? And then the third episode is me and Matt Chrisman talking about his political stuff. And then we got Kitty Stryker talking about the feud between ICP and Kid Rock. So
Nice.
I think it's a fun series. And don't look at it as a deep dive. Don't yell at me because I don't talk about Joe C enough. If you want a deep dive, Shocktober will be back. I promise.
Thank you. We're Street Fight. Peace.